Last year, Army put together a strong season, beating both Navy and Air Force and putting together a 9-3 season while dealing with injury problems at quarterback. This season, they will look to take the next step and fight for double-digit wins. But will they be able to? Let's talk about that. As we enter the month of July, we are now in prime preview magazine season as the college football season quickly approaches. Over the next 2 months, I will be previewing every college football team, all 130, and in this episode, I will be looking into Army West Point. As I mentioned earlier, Army put together a 9-3 season last year without being a part of a conference and played in a bowl game against West Virginia, a game that almost didn't happen. They are led by head coach Jeff Monken, who is one of the longest tenured Army head coaches and has put together a 49-39 record in 7 years and has an 87-55 record overall. They run the triple option, which led to them averaging 273 rushing yards per game, which was 4th most in the country. Monken talked about the triple option, basically saying when it works, it looks extremely flashy, but when it doesn't work, it's a slog of a game. Like the other academies, with the Black Knights lack in athleticism, they make up in discipline and toughness. Going into the 2021 season, Army returns 77% of their overall production from last year. On offense, they returned 5 starters and 79% of their production from 2020, which ranks 42nd. They will have multiple quarterbacks on the roster with starting experience. Christian Anderson started the first 5 games of the season last year before getting hurt. Tyler Tyler started 4 games last season and led the team in rushing with 578 yards. Jabari Laws started in 2019 but got hurt and missed all of the 2020 season. When looking at the running back room, this will be Army's most experienced unit since 2018. They returned their top 5 rushers from last year. They will be led by 260-pound fullback Jacoby Buchanan and 255-pound Anthony Atkins, as well as 260-pound sophomore Tyson Riley. Those guys should be bruisers on the inside this season. They also returned slotback Tyrell Robinson, who averaged 7.1 yards per carry last year. Army does not really pass that often, and the responsibility of the wide receivers are more to block on the outside. They also often don't use tight ends, according to Phil Steele, but will have a good tight end in Chris Cameron, who led a solid tight end unit in 2020 and should improve in 2021. When it comes to the offensive line, Army only returns 1 starter in center Connor Bishop. This is nothing new at the service academies, as they usually rarely return starters on the offensive line. That being said, although they only return 1 starter, they still do have experience across the line. On the defensive side, Army returns 8 starters from 2020 and 76% of their production from last year, which ranks 46th nationally. They returned 6 of their top 8 tacklers from last season and should have a strong rush defense. Last year they led the nation in blocked kicks with 7 and will look to repeat success in that area again this year. Army returned 3 of their 4 starting defensive linemen this season. They lost Amandio, West, and 3 backups but have experience across the line this season. They will have 24 defensive line starts across their line going into the 2021 season, making it the most experienced line in years for the cadets. At linebacker, they lose outside linebacker Jeremy Lowry, but return Spencer Jones, who started in the bowl game last year and played well. They also lose John Radigan. They return Eric Smith, who led the linebacker unit last year in sacks with 3.5 and should lead a strong unit. The most important thing will be the middle linebacker play this season due to the fact that Army's defense runs through the middle linebackers. When it comes to their defensive backs, Army returns 3 of their 4 starters from last year, only losing quarterback Jabari Moore. Due to the fact they usually only practice against the run with the Black Knights triple option, Army usually struggles to defend against the pass, so they will look to improve on that this season. Special teams should also be a strong one again for the cadets this year. When it comes to their schedule, Athlon and ESPN both project the Black Knights to go 7-5, with Athlon projecting them to finish 79th nationally. I tend to disagree with these 2 predictions. With Army playing the 95th hardest schedule, I think they will put together a 9-3 season. I think they will enter their big game against the Wisconsin Badgers 5-0 and drop their first game of the season in Madison that weekend. I also project them to beat both Air Force in Arlington and Navy in New Jersey, and the only other 2 losses coming to Wake Forest and Liberty. But what do you think? How will Army perform this season? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos in the preview series. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.